Hey there, it's morning. Um, just wanted to go live real quickly just to show what my progress has been this week with coloring and sketching. And can I make this to look better? Um, this is the one coloring page that I've been working on this week. Um, I haven't been doing a lot of coloring this week, obviously. This is a page that I printed out on just regular printer paper. See the back. Um, from Mythographic Odyssey, which I printed out because if you look at some of my um, videos from last week or the week before, um, I don't like coloring small. And in the mythographic books, a lot of things are really tiny, and I don't like that. I don't enjoy it at all. So I printed out some pages to try it out. And I printed on printer paper, and I printed a couple of the images out on really good cardstock paper just to see how my printer worked with them. And so this is one of them, and I decided to color this one. Um, I figured out that the lighting kind of sucks. I can't get it. Okay. Um, I figured out that it was a way, coloring on regular printer paper is a way for me to explore the palette that I might want to use. And so, yeah. And also a way to just color and have fun and not worry about ruining a book or ruining a good piece of paper or anything like that. And so, I've been coloring this. First thing I wanted to do was this background, which was black from the actual image. It's black already. Oh, I don't have my rings on, but that's okay. Anyway, um, I put my hair in mini twists yesterday, so like I didn't want my rings on to snag my hair. Anyway, um, I colored this blue with Brute Fooner pencil because Brute Fooners are really waxy and give you nice coverage, and it did. And I was loving the application of that so much, I just kept doing it all over and everywhere that was the background. In coloring this, and then I started down here with the coral and the leaves. Um, and I've been using all of my less expensive pencils to do that because I also figure this is a way to use up my pencils that I don't necessarily like. I love my Brute Fooners, so that's kind of not included in that. But my other ones, like the Starjoy Golds and Xenocolor, um, and I haven't used Crayola in here yet. I like Crayola pencils for how hard they are. I feel like they have a purpose. But the Starjoy Golds, I don't really feel like they have a. I don't know that they have a purpose, a future in my coloring page life or not. I don't know about that. Anyway, so I've been using Starjoy Golds mostly on in here as a whole, actually. Um, but I use them down here specifically. Um, so I was trying to make each siren different, and I was also trying to make their clothing look a little bit ethereal or something, and I don't think I quite achieved that or have quite achieved that yet. But it gives me an idea of how I might want to approach it in the real page. Um, and um, Problems again with black. There's something about it. Just like I have to find, and I may actually do a whole big swatch fest with black, trying to create black from different combinations of other colors rather than using black itself. As I had talked about when I was working on Mythographic Aviary and working on the bee, um, that like as far as color theory and painting, I was forced to not use any kind of black um, pigment at all out of the bottle, but I was forced to like create a combination of colors to use a combination of colors to create black. And so I'm finding that doing that with coloring pencils is possibly a very useful way to create black in coloring pages, but then you really have to swatch out your color combinations and figure them out before you do it, because once you make a mark, it's there, um, and it's even there maybe as a kind of undertone, or will switch up whatever you put on top of it, switch the tone of that too. um, so I think I may have to have like a big swatch fest of creating black through various colored pencils, which is going to take more thought than I want to apply right now. I've been through one of my most stressful times of the year, so I just kind of want to take it easy. So whenever that comes to me, I'll do it. But yeah, I was not pleased with how this went down. I was trying to give it like blue undertones, and it just, I don't know. It could be the pencils too, the type of pencils and the paper. That black just wasn't working here. Um, I may go over it with gel pens or something. So maybe consider this first layer. And but I want to figure out how to create a black where you don't have to do that, where you don't have to go over it with white gel pens or any other kind of thing to make it look how you want it to look. So that's something I'm making a mental note of, that I'm going to be thinking about and someday working on with colored pencils. So I also tried to give them different skin tones, something that I'm also kind of continually on the back burner working on. And sometimes I just pull it out and start actually working on it, and sometimes I don't. Um, and so I tried to make one Caucasian, make one, you know, of African descent, and then make one. I wasn't sure where I was going with this, but somehow of Asian descent. Asia's huge, so and actually Native Americans have um, are of Asian descent too in a lot of ways. It's kind of funny. I was watching a video of an Ojibwe guy who takes care of his mom and is going through a divorce, and he has two kids. I think two kids, and he did a ancestry, or yeah, a DNA test or whatever, one of those kits, on him and his mom, and he found out he's like a percentage, was it 15% Mongolian, and he was like, Mongolian. But the funny thing is, when I look at him, he looks like, he looks it. Because I thought that when I first started watching these videos, I was trying to figure out, what is he now? And then when he mentioned, then I started looking into surroundings and things like that. And I says, oh, okay, he's Native American. And then he actually mentioned that he's Ojibwe. But anyway, yeah, so she looks kind of Southeast Asian because she's kind of darker. But um, so I played around with that again, creating colors rather than, not going right out of the box, but getting the idea that all skin tones have an undertone to them. Um, a black person isn't black, the color black, like that. A white person isn't white, like, like this, but there's undertones. And there's more than one undertone to each ethnicity or whatever. Um, so I was playing around with that, and I actually started out with a gold color. I think it started off with a really pale gold for this one and this one, and I started off with a pale pink for the Caucasian one. And it's kind of interesting because I think it was pretty successful. I went over it with the pink with a gold, and then I went over that lightly with a brown in some places. And I thought, you know what? That I like that. Um, I have to write down on the back of this what I did with the skin tone so I'll remember. I do have the pencils segregated in my case so that I can do that because I got somewhere that I think I really like with that. Figuring that out. So I have to figure out like shading, like how I did with this one. I want to figure out what color for shading to do here. Just one color, and I'm not sure. I haven't done it yet because I'm not sure what color to go in with. I don't know if I'm going to go in with that light pink or something else. I don't know. Something else that happened, like I didn't plan the skin tone thing in this at all. And so I did the dresses first. And if I realized I was going to make this one Caucasian or fair skin toned, I would not have put orange on her. But unfortunately, because I didn't plan it, that's what I did. So when I color the real page of this, I'm probably going to put a different color dress on her. Um, yeah, I was having a problem kind of figuring out what color dress to put on them. I put a different color on each one of them. I don't know that I necessarily had to do that, um, but I did. So yeah, of course. Look, I made her hair red. In part because it's something I'm used to doing in the Hannah Carlson books, although it didn't go down as well because of the paper, of course, and possibly because of the pencils, using Starjoy Golds. But yeah, I thought it was. I don't know. I just did that. I may change the hair color in the next one too. In the when I color on the cardstock version. Um, so that is that. I don't know. I have to work on the background and stuff, and now I'm kind of like confounded. It's like I don't really know what color to do the background. I'm thinking of actually making the building red, even though I know in the Odyssey it's Greek and it's supposed to be, like beige and brown or whatever. Um, we'll see. It's possible I may do these swirly things first and then go in and do the background because then if I do the swirly things, which I'm thinking I'm probably going to use gel pens, then I won't feel like pressed to make the background something bright because I'll see the gel pens, the metallic of those. Um, Yeah, but there's a lot going on in this page, and like coloring it small. It's like, what would I use? It's like a colored pencil tip is not small enough for me to get enjoyment out of coloring this. For me, I'd have to use something else. Excuse me. I don't need water. I don't have any with me though. Mm. All I have was coffee. So, yeah. And I'm not one of those people who likes to continually sharpen my pencil. And sometimes I actually like coloring with a blunt end sometimes because with a blunt end, you actually can use like a side of the pencil and not just the tip. Um, but then that means I have to pay close attention. I got to put on like spectacles and all that kind of stuff to see the color. And that's just not enjoyable to me at all. It's not an enjoyable experience. So anyway, so this is these are the sirens, and I feel like I do have an idea of where I want to go with it, and I also, I should feel less pressured to color when I'm coloring on just plain old a copy of the page in on copy paper, no doubt, nonetheless, or whatever the word is for that. So again, this is kind of like my working out colors. One, enjoying myself. Two, playing around with what's possible. and 3 trying to resolve some how to get certain effects in a coloring page. Maybe light on that last one. Mostly just like color just to color because I love color. Period. Um, so that's that. I don't know. I was thinking about this. I couldn't make these gold or put a lot of gold in them. I didn't think about that, like a metallic gold. But yeah, we'll see what happens with it. I almost feel like I'm in the mood to like just put it down, put it away, and do something else. Um, I have been looking. I have. Excuse me. I have 2 Hannah Carlson books that I haven't colored in at all. Or actually, maybe 3. One of them is new. 2 of them is kind of new to me. Um, but I don't really feel like going to those yet. So, which kind of reminds me. Is it here? Is it here? Yeah. I was looking at. I'm gonna switch to this guy because like I've been moving my boxes around of coloring books and still can't find that one that I was looking for. I was kind of looking in this because now that I have more tools for coloring backgrounds, I've been looking in them and seeing, okay, what can I do in here? Is there something I can do in here? And I opened up to this page, which I talked about last week, that like it really freaks me out because it's like, oh my god, I messed this up so bad. With one of my first attempts playing with backgrounds, and now that I look at it, it's like, well, it's not really that bad. But what really bugs me is this part. Oh my god, and I can't change it really. I can't figure out how to change it. Is that it's so flat when it should probably be slanted, and it's freaking me out. It freaks me out every time I look at it. Even though I like how the squares are, it's like it all should be slanted. Um, but I feel like I can really just let it go because the page isn't as bad as I thought. Um, I should just let it go and just finish the page. So who knows? Maybe I'll do that this week. You know, I can't make it any worse than it already is. So that's kind of what I figure. So I might as well just finish it, whatever. Um, and I can always buy another book. Um, it looks like it's transferring on here too. Yeah, that was something that was frustrating me with in this book was using certain materials. It was starting to transfer over no matter what I did, and then that was frustrating me. It's like I love this book too much for that to happen. So how I don't know. I don't have the time to figure out how to stop it from happening. So I just put the book away. Um, I actually kind of like this page in some ways. I don't know because it's weird. I don't know. Anyway, this page I really like now because I redeemed it. I was struggling with this beetle page for a long time. I apologize for the lighting because I just, whew, oh my gosh, that's too bright. If you can see, that's all metallic paint. Um, one of my first attempts of trying out using paint on a background that totally elevated this page for me. So that was a nice surprise. So yeah, I think I'm probably gonna. I don't know. This is on my list of possible things to work on. There's still bits and pieces on the pages I have colored that I need to finish. There's some backgrounds that I can do. Um, Still need to do this page. Um, mm, 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 mm. I love mushrooms. And then this beetle, which also started off, it had a rough go in the beginning, and then I tried with I think I was using the Marabou art crayons, and I was like, oh my god, what have I done? What have I done? And then I added something else to this, and I added water in here too somewhere, and it kind of took it somewhere that I was like, oh, you know what? I really like this one now. It's weird, but I like it. So I kind of love this beetle. It was quite a process getting here. I still Yeah, I still have to do these and this. So that's something else on my list of things to do. So this guy can be finished. I don't think I'm doing anything else with the background. This is what it is. I'm not going to mess with it. And then there's bleed through from the previous page, but I don't know that I'm really going to worry about it. And it's from this. Yeah. Yeah, so that was kind of, I don't know, the bleed through kind of made me feel some kind of way. Kind of upset me. Um, yeah, so there's that. What else have I done? Where is, oh, it's underneath. I started doing something else last week that kind of scares me too. And I have a lot of pages in here. I was looking, and it's like a lot of them that are not quite finished or finished, but there's no background. And I'm wondering, like, should I add one to them, and what should that be? So I started experimenting with the page that I did, with the mushrooms, where what is it? That I used crayons on. Let me just flip it normal. I'm just afraid I'm going to knock over the. Um, let me do it this way. I'm afraid I'm going to knock over my um, webcam. Oh, well, I did this. I actually did the background of this. I think that was something where I wanted to do something different for a day. Oh my gosh, everything's going to fall because I got this thing leaning sideways. Oh, don't do that. Yeah, my desk isn't really, it's not in total shape yet. I'm thinking of removing my old printer that my new printer's sitting on, which is going to totally change the configuration of my desk, but it might be about time to do that. So I did the background purple. I mean, I had to decide what color to do, and I don't know. I just picked one and did it. So I used Marabou art crayons on that. Um, the what I did here with the pencils, I don't know. I think I used Color and probably Crayola. I can't even remember exactly what I used, but I think that's what I used from how this looks. And I'm thinking, I can't recreate that. It's a good thing that I have the whole thing colored in because I don't know how I did that. And I really like it too, but I don't know how I did that. Where is the? Okay, this video is going to be longer than I expected because I'm talking. Where are you, mushrooms? Grr. There's just so many pages in here. It's like I should have no need for getting another book. That's for sure. Oh, where are you? I just was looking at the white spaces in here a lot and thinking, that's like intended for something to be there. And so I thought, well, one way to learn how to sketch coloring pages, maybe to figure out the images you want to have in the background. And so I did put some, I quickly kind of drew the trees there. They look kind of funny, but I put those in the background. I kind of tried to, draw a background basically. Um, I put some houses over there. Um, it was not easy for me to do this, but I just kind of put myself into sketch mode to do it, and said, "Don't worry about it." It's kind of like sketch mode, but to draw, which was kind of weird. Ideally, I probably should have like gone in my sketchbook and drawn a bunch and then put them in here, but like that would be too much like right, and I couldn't do that. So, um, and I put mountains back there only for the perspective aspect, but like I really don't want mountains in the background, but I'm probably gonna color in mountains in the background because it's like all I can think of. I don't know, to kind of set off um the perspective, that this is distant, this is close, whatever. So yeah, so I did that, and now we're gonna experiment with color with it and see how that works. But I felt like something needed to be in the background. So even though I wish I could draw it just in her style so that it would look like that, but how do you sketch or draw so that you have the same line work as the artist in their page? That's making my head explode just saying that. So anyway, so that's what I did. And I have my eye on the page in here that has the airplane. That was one where I looked at it, it's like, oh my gosh, you have to draw something in there. What would I draw? Here's the airplane page. I thought it was closer rather than further. I don't know. There's a page with the airplane, and the airplane's trail is like the part you color in, and then there's a whole lot of white space around it. I can't find the page right now. Anyway, yeah, so that got me thinking about it. Oh, maybe it's near here. There's another one that's kind of similar, but not quite. But you got to put something else there. What would I put there? So it's possible, or one of the things in my head is that one sketch week project is to draw all the kinds of things um, that I might put into this book, and then thinking of how to transfer those sketches to line drawings that match Johanna Basford's line work. And I'm using all these words, I don't know, just trying to explain what I'm doing. It's not like I know a whole lot about any of this, but I just know I want it to look like it belongs in the book. I don't want it to look necessarily like I added it to it. So how would you do that? Oh, here's the plane. Here's the plane. The plane, the plane. All that white space. Something has to be there, and I need to do more than make it blue. Give it one color or several colors. I feel like something needs to be there. What would be there in this kind of fantasy world? Because no plane has this kind of a trail. So what would be there? I don't know. And I feel like the best time to deal with what would go in the background is when you're sketching and you're supposed to be in like no editor mode, just like, knock some things out. And there's no consequence to it. It's just a bunch of things you've just drawn. So, where did I put my sketchbook? I know I had it here. Oh, here it is. So now on to the sketches. So I did videos of 3 days of my sketching. And I didn't do one the 4th day because I just wanted to do something different. It's easy for me to do this kind of thing, which basically is drawing, not really sketching, but they just come out of my head at the moment, or in the moment, in the second. Each line is just like as it happens. And I wanted to do a bunch of these, but I also, because I want to keep the editor in the closet, it's like I wanted to do something totally different. And I was kind of moving towards that eventually. I probably could have a whole book of these things when I think about it. And so that's probably something that I'm going to work towards, is doing that. Where was the first one? I did another one. Where is it? Got my days mixed up last week too, so that didn't help. I thought I did, where is it? I can't find it, because I don't think that's the first one I did, but I don't know where it is. Anyway, there's a video of it, so you can watch that one. I don't know where it is, though. It's kind of bugging me. You might be able to tell. Where did I put it? Gonna have to put a tab in it. Okay. Oh, it's right here. Duh. Okay, so this is the first one I did on the 22nd. I did this one on the 23rd. And then I did this one on the 24th. And I didn't mark it. Mark that. Oh, it is on there. 524. And I really just did whatever came out of me at the moment. So this is something, whereas the other things I kind of would do that line work regularly. Sometimes I'll, like, when I doodle and I'm watching a movie or something, I'll just do things like that. This is different from some of those other ones, and I just was letting come out of me whatever came out. And I might look kind of crazy like this, I was thinking, because I almost got hit by a car that morning. But chasing after the dog, and he wound up going into the road. He was right in the middle of the road, and there were two vehicles coming, and I had to get him out of there. I couldn't call him because he can't really see, so he would have. I couldn't rely on where he was going to go. So I think that's why that's so loopy. Personally, is because, like, I was really, like, agitated that morning. Just some kind of observation there. But I like how this is different, for one thing, and I feel like the difference kind of leads me to another place. I don't mind that. I like that. Um, then this is the one I did. When did I do this? 25th. I might have done it like in the afternoon or at night. I might have been kind of thinking of not the Hannah Carlson, the Johanna Basford books, and how I might put in backgrounds on there. And so I did all these little tiny sketches of various things, patterns. I tried to do an urn, but it didn't start out being an urn. I just drew a shape and I'm like, what does that look like? And then I turned it into an urn, or tried to. Um, I put this sign on there because I think there's a sign like that in the Johanna Basford books, and I guess that was on my mind, so I did that. Um, Different flowers. Um, so that was one. Oh, 524. I have evening. Oh, I even put it on there. Duh. 524 evening is when I did these. Um, did I? Okay, I did mark this one. Then 525, I did. How many days is that? Oh, 3, 4. I could have 5 days of sketching. Wow, that's good. Um, I did this sketch of cover of coloring book, Fantasy Interiors, which I don't know if anybody. I think I mentioned it in a past video that I did. I saved a picture of this book from Amazon. It's a book that has that awful paper in the coloring book, but I liked the image, and I liked the way, like the levels to this, and how I liked the composition of it. And so I saved a picture of it, and I said, let me, save this, and maybe, as inspiration for sketching or drawing something, I don't know, a room. So I just, and I'm not good at this at all, at doing that kind of thing. So, like, keep that in mind. Um, and so this is my sketch of it. For better or worse, that's my sketch of it. Something that's interesting to me is that I actually, um, when I paint, like oil painting, I will get the perspective better than when I draw or sketch. There's something about color for me that just makes it click, where I don't know what it is. It's weird. I don't even know how to describe it. But yeah, but I wanted to sketch this. Um and think about the composition of it, because sketching will force me to think about the composition of the room, and the placement of things. So I did fold this up so that I'd have a grid, but then it's too much like math for me. That's another thing about drawing and perspective and all that. I started to do a grid on here, and I was like, no, I can't. It's stressing me out. I can't. I don't. It's like anything to do with math, I can't do it. That's just like the same thing with sewing. If you're gonna get me into that whole math mode and I gotta figure out how many inches to the eighth inch to the whatever, I'm like, no, 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 no. And my brain shuts down. And I have to figure out a way to maybe if a way to prevent that from happening, but I don't know. It might be too late for that. I don't know. Yeah. So this is my sketch of it. Of course it doesn't look just like it. It's not gonna, because it's me. Um and it's a sketch. No pressure. So that's basically what I did last week. That's an overview of everything I did last week. So that's all I came on for this morning, and looking forward to another week of coloring and sketching, and we'll see where that goes. So I hope y'all have a good day and a good week. Happy holiday. Um, Shout out and to all our veterans. Um, but today is about Memorial Day, about fallen soldiers, and I am very thankful for their sacrifice. And we wouldn't be here without it. We wouldn't be here in this way without it. We would have no YouTube to just come on, pop on, and say what you feel like saying without it. So, thank you, fallen soldiers, for your sacrifice. And y'all have a good day.